We're going to talk about who Bilaam is, and B'ez Hashem will have enough time to go into understanding his power. Because he was extremely, extremely powerful to the point that Mar says that Chazal wanted to institute that we say the Parshas Bilaam, the Parshas Balak, in Kriya Shema. The nace that happened to the Bnei Yisrael during that time, with them not even knowing what was happening in the background, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu saved them. But once we analyze what he saved them from, I mean, it was Kedai. The Anshe Knesset Agdoila wanted to put it in Krishma, and only because it's too long and it would be a Tircha de Tzibura, they held back and they didn't put it into Krishma. But this parsha belongs, the nace of this parsha belongs in Krishma, to the level of Yetzias Mitzrayim. That's how big this nace is. So, B'ez Hashem, we're going to be able to go into Bilaam. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives me health, I will be able to explain a lot more on Shabbos, B'ez Hashem. Let's go into the Psukim. The Pasha starts, Vayar Balak ben Sipar. I just want to point out, I'm not going to talk about this, but it's Hashem on Shabbos, who is the other partner, the Balak, his powers, and how together with the match, it's a nuclear bomb. Amalek was a joke compared to Balak and Bilam, a joke. So we need to understand just a little bit that the Parsha, from the beginning, in nowhere, Psukim will be able to be translatable just according to the Pshat. Everything here, it's a Seid of Choch. Vayar Balak, all the Mefarshim ask, what did he see? He wasn't there. So what did he say, Vayar? They sort of say, Vayishma Yisro Yichayhan Midian. When Israel heard about Matan Torah, he heard about Kriyas Yamsuf, it says Vayishma. Torah is very careful about saying the emes. So Bilam didn't see it. Balak ben Tzipor, like we know either one of them, right? We don't know who Balak is. We don't know who Tzipor is. But if you had told us right away that he was the Melech Moav, that would have helped us. We could have situated. But the pasuk is not going to say it until the end of the third pasuk. Ubalak ben Tzipor, Melech le Moav ba'esach. That he was Melech Moav. Why do you have to wait for so long to tell us he was Melech Moav? You couldn't say that before. And we're going to keep on. Es kol asher asa Yisrael. Everything that Israel did. Es asher asa. What do you mean? Es kol asher asa. Yisrael le'emori. No, say to Sichon. Sichon is the one who came out to Milchama against Moav, against Midian, and he took the land. And then they paid him dues, they paid him taxes to guard the land. He was the guardians of the land. And therefore, since then, Midian was not allowed to have a king anymore. It's only Zikne Midian. They were not allowed to have a king because they fought against Sichon. So why do you call them La Emoiri here? I know the Emoiri, but it's Sichon. Not by his name. All of a sudden, it says so many times in the parsha, Sichon and Oig, Sichon and Oig, Sichon and Oig, to no one that now when you need to mention it, you don't mention it. Why? So, okay, they saw a giant, the son of the Malachim that came down to earth. You remember the story. And right away, they started sinning. And when it was time for the Mabul, Oig Melech HaBashan, which was the oldest, of the sons, wrapped himself around the Teva, and Sichon, how did he make it through the mountain? Even the giants died. So we explain that his father, the Malach, went right before the Noach and his children went into the Teva. He went with the wife of Ham, so she was pregnant of Sichon. So the mother of Sichon is the wife of Ham. So you can base it, but he was a giant and extremely strong. And Bnei Israel took him down. Okay, so it's important, but it says Vayagar Moav. Who was scared? Moav. It doesn't say Balak got scared. It says Moav got scared. Mi penei ha'am, from the people. That's really a bizarre. You're talking about the holiest people. They showed their strength. They showed their power, and you want to belittle them. They got very, very scared. Now, what the reason? You would think the reason is a continuation of the first pasuk, because Israel married. No, Kiravhu, because they're numerous, because they're strong. So the reaction is, okay, try to send messengers and emissaries that should not do war with you. No, they were disgusted. And now mipene bnei Israel. So here we have mipene ha'am. It starts the pasuk with mipene ha'am, and interestingly, it ends up with mipene bnei Israel. Interesting, there's no consistency. Vayomer Moav el ziknei Midian. Moav said, because they used to be, Rashi explained, they used to have wars since age of time. They used to be hating each other. So Moav comes to Midian. Ata, they're gonna make peace. Irrationality, the hatred of the Bnei Israel supersedes. There's a tremendous lesson here in philosophy. The hatred of a Bnei Israel should never take a side when there's two Goyish enemies, because despite them being enemies, they are friends compared to the hatred they have for you. On this, they'll find a common ground. So Moav says to Ziknei Midian, I'll give you a piece of advice. They will suckle, lick everything which is around us. What do you mean around us? No, our countries. The truth is, Moav knew that Bnei Israel have a prohibition of attacking Moav. Al tatzar es Moav al tisgarban milchama. You're not allowed to pledge war with Moav. So really, the country, they were not worried. So what they're worried about is they're going to conquer all the lands around, and and they will force us to pay dues and taxes to them. He says, me, at least I'm going to have my land. But you, Midian, you're not going to have your land. He doesn't say Al-Tatsar is Midian. So you're going to be part of the lands that they're going to decimate. So you better get together with me. Like this, we can fight them back. Right away, when they heard that, they put Balak as a king on them. This is where I'm going to start the share today. Vayishlach malachim el Bilaam and Balak. They sent malachim. In the pasuk, he says, sorry. Why do you start with malachim? There's a big side in this. I'm not going to touch it. It's too deep. But he sent malachim to Bilaam and Balak. you would hope that this is the name of a place. So it's one of the pshat in Rashi it is the name of a place. It's a very funny name. It's the name in Besaira, in Aramaic, in Hebrew, it's Shulchan. Okay, why would that place be called Shulchan? Fine, we'll see. Maybe I have time to get into it. Asher al Hanar, which is in case in that time there were in Midian so many Pesaira that you had to know which one, like Newcastle on Tyne. Like in England, everything is based on the river. I can accept that. But that what is that? Eretz B'nai Amoi? You're describing the place. What is it? What are you adding here? Eretz, the land of his people. Whose people? Whose land? We're just sending to Bilaam right now. Pesoira, Asher Nahar. Then we have the three words that seem out of place. It cannot be explained. Likroloi, to call him. I know, he said, Vayishlach malachim el Bilaam. Why do you tell me Likroloi again? Leimor, Likroloi, Leimor again. Hine am yatsa mi Mitzrayim. Or really, Bilaam didn't know. Bilaam was a kid. He didn't know anything. Hine chisas ein haaretz. What is this? Ein haaretz, the eye of the land. He covered the eye of the land. Okay. Do you know where the other eye of the land is, so we can cover it too? What is the eye of the land? The Hu Yoshe Mimuri. You have 5 million people roaming through the desert. And you're going to tell me that Bilam, the big Mechashev, doesn't know. He doesn't know nobody heard yet what happened to Sichon, right next land. He was the gatekeeper of all these lands. He got decimated. His cities went on fire. All the surrounding nations are very scared of the Bnei Israel. But there's one guy who didn't hear because he doesn't have the news. He doesn't have a radio. It's Bilam. What are you trying to tell Bilam? Bilam, you don't need to revive his hatred for the Jews. His whole being is hatred for the Jews. That's the message of Balak. Ve'ata lechana, please curse me, these people, this nation. Hiatzum hu mimeni. Now, when you say ki atzum who is the who? You should have said them, the Bnei Israel. They're stronger. And even within ulai, maybe. Is it maybe or is it for sure that if Bilam intervened, that you're going to win? And look at the lashon of the pasuk here. Pay close attention. Ucha, singular. Nake, 2 verbs, plural. So one singular, one plural going one after another. How is it possible that you have 2 verbs about the same subject? One is ulai, which you should have said nuchal, nakebur, us too, or maybe our nations. But uchal means me. Nake means us. You cannot have a grammatical error of that extent. This is nucha nake oisoy, him. No, boy, inside him. What do you mean? You're gonna hit him inside him? When you make a milchama, you make a milchama with someone, not inside someone. So these 3 words here are very problematic. And obviously the pasuk here, with such a huge error, comes to tell us the big side of Chaf. The Zikne Moav, Vayelchu Zikne Moav and Zikne Midian, they went together, Uksamim beyadam, and they took magic in their hands. You're going to Bilaam, the biggest menachesh, the biggest sorcerer. What do you take magic stuff with you? What do you need it for? Very troubling parsha. I mean, to try to understand through just the meaning, the parsha shot of the words. So let's start explaining who this Imachshamoy Rasha of Bilaam is, because obviously, why would someone that never had any interference with the Bnei Israel, not good and not bad, why would he have such a passionate hate? Why would he be so hateful to the point he would rub Rahmanus not on men, not on women, not on children, not on elderlies. He wants to decimate them all. Why? At least Balak, the pasuk gives a similar logic to it, that he was scared because they took down the powerhouse Sichon that was shomer around the cities. But now him, Bilaam, what's the reason? The pasuk doesn't come with any reason. So why do you hate the Jews so much? You're such a chacham, you're to the level to cross from Moshe Rabbeinu. Ve'lo yikam navi oid beYisrael keMoshe. Says Chazal, in Israel there was never another navi like Moshe. But in the nations there was, and his name was Bilaam. You know the truth. You had tremendous visions. Why would you hate the sons of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? By doing so, you're putting yourself in a situation where you are the one that's gonna be. You are the one. The Zohar HaKadosh in the Chukoisai says, differentiates between the sorcery of Bilaam to the witchcrafting of Balak. There were two top of the games in the department. Witchcrafting is making magic through actions. You do different things, mix up different things, and through that, you make the Balak used to make magic in order to harm someone. And there was no greater witchcrafter in the world ever than Balak. However, Bilaam had a different power. Bilaam, it's in his mouth and in his eyes. He was a sorcerer saying, how do we call this? I forgot. In Hebrew, it's called lechashim. He was saying words, names of Tuma, and with that was enough to create havoc. Or it didn't even have to. It would just look through close his right eye, and where he had no right eye, he took it out, but and he was looking through the left eye with a closed right eye, and this would empower the Ayin Hara to a level that he would even kill someone. And this only Bilaam knew how to do it. So Balak now is trying to create a team that's very complementary. The best witchcrafter with the best sorcerer. And we'll see why it's considered the best team. we're going to see now one thing across, every time we're going to go across the aisles, because that's going to give us an understanding where that stands. Bnei Israel were given mitzvahs that requires actions, and we have other mitzvahs that require only the mouth. We have mitzvahs that require the eye. So why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give us so many mitzvahs, and depending on so many different parts of our body? It's because even if arises someone like Balak, someone like Bilaam, the actions that we do for a mitzvah, that's kedusha that comes down because we unify the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Shekhinah together through an action. This protects from witchcraft. When we say the tefillah, when we daven and we say the words, this protects from sorcerers. When someone pays attention to his surroundings and he sees a poor person and he thinks, I have to give tzedakah, he used his eye for the good. He's being protected from ayin hara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us, it's like a warrior that goes to war with a shield or without a shield. Obviously, his chances of being harmed are much greater if he doesn't have a shield. He cannot fight really well to protect himself and then go back and attack. But when he has a shield, he has all the best chances in order to counterattack and eliminate his enemies. When Bnei Israel do these mitzvahs, when actions, words, sight, automatically they have a shield. And this shield will indicate where is the enemy, so they can counterattack and finish that enemy that's trying to take them down. The Zohar in Parshas Truma explain the danger. The real danger starts when the Ruach of Tuma comes and lies on someone. Until he enters, there is nothing. Nothing can happen. He can be around there. He can be like Bilaam in his place and Balak in his place. They can start talking as much as they want. But the Israel are protected. As we said, because of their mitzvahs. But says the Zohar HaKadosh, you have to watch out. Sometimes the Ruach HaTuma can enter the very mitzvah itself. And the person not realizing, not knowing that he enabled that. Also. Let's say you go to a goy that has an orchard of estrogen. And the guy tells you, I'm going to sell it to you for $180. They said, no, it's too much and everything. You bargain him down and he needs money. He didn't do a great day or whatever. He sells it for you. He sells it to you for $80. That is right. Don't use it for your. You are guaranteed that in this esrog, there is a Ruach HaTuma. Why? Because the Kedusha only protects something that's complete. When the guy is asking for a price, you think he just asks like this? Kadosh Baruch Hu puts words in the mouth of everyone. Because Hashem sees the Ruach HaTuma, when the person bargains him down, he enables, since he was not paid in full So to redeem the ruach that was on that asteroid, it required $180. If you don't want, turn around and leave. That's why in some tshuvas it says, tell a goy always before you buy an asteroid, since I cannot bargain down the asteroid, don't exaggerate on the price, please. So before, it's not a negotiation, because negotiation comes when the price is set by the vendor and the buyer is bargaining it down. At that point, then you create a gap, the difference of prices, and this is where the Ruach HaTumah is coming, because the Ruach HaTumah is only coming on things that are free. The people that go seek, this is free, I'm taking advantage, them Shabbos are giving anyway, think, well, who cares? I think one more, one less. Don't think it's so easy. If someone needs body, has the mitzvah for Shabbos to take it. Obviously, it's not called chinam. It's called tzedakah, and he has the bracha and the yeshua of his brothers, that really at the same time, the same package, they daven for him. They're all that he should, B'ez Hashem, stand back on his feet. But someone who wants to take advantage, you know what? Great, I had this little thing free for Shabbos. As soon as you say the word free, you say Ruach HaTumah. Why is Ruach HaTumah in something that are free? If you take if we take the word chin, if you remember well, that when they wanted to go back to Mitzrayim, they said, we used to eat chinam. Chinam is a tremendous side, what's behind it. Chinam equals not. All right. Okay. Chinam equals 98. Equals the name in the Chachma, Yud Ke Vav Ke, in simple, and in full, Yud Ke Vav Ke. This, can you believe how high, how strong this Ruach HaTumah is? It's a cross. It is in the Chachma of the Sitra Achra. It's not in the Bina. It's not Bilaam. It's above. We're talking about the worst type of Ruach HaTumah that can harm people. And this is not one that we have to take very lightly, because it is in the Chachma. This call and is mevatel, even if the person deserves Chesed Hashem. Look at this. Equals Chesed Hashem. The Chesed Hashem. And if it was done in a way that's not honest, a dishonest way, it means, so you have 10 times chinam, so the 10 spheres of chinam equals 980. If you take the word kadosh, we're going to write it in full. My computer froze. Seeing that. Okay. We're going to have Kuf, Dalet, Shik. We know that the Kedusha is in the Chachma. So now you can see we mamish across the aisle equals 980. Mamish, as we said before, Chinam in the Chachma of the Sitra Achra, the Yud Kevavke of the Chachma the Kedusha. And when we go by the Midah, we see it's exactly the same thing. Now, if you take, now what happens, what affects, if you take Das, we know that Bnei Yisrael, our savior or our downfall, is the type of Das we have. Das Toiv Vara. Which one we sticking to? You taking Dalet, Ein, so equals 980. In other words, the Das of a Jew has to be connected to the Chachma all the time, to the Kedusha. Then he said, if Chas v'Shalom, his Das is connected to the Chinam, then he has no Kedusha anymore. He has no. So we see how high the free stuff, the Ruach HaTuma that comes and lies into something that you didn't know, you didn't have anybody touch it. Yet it's true that vendor is exaggerating on the price and you can get for cheaper there. You felt bad for him. That's where I'm telling you, emotions are not going from the heart to the brain. The Jewish emotions are going from the brain to the heart. You have to learn, like Chafetz Chaim, you see, you're gonna learn in Simen Kuf Nun Vav, in the Rachaim Simen Kuf Nun Vav in Mishnah Brura. He says, if you don't have time to learn Gemara, Peskim, Torah Shebichta, learn halal. Because a person at the beginning has to know how to conduct himself. Without this, all the rest, if you don't learn halacha, you don't learn how to conduct yourself, the rest is hot air. I mean, on one side, you're trying to say you're doing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, at the same time, you're doing Chinam. So everything you're taking and thinking doing good, it's going to the wrong side. I'm not at fault. I'm trying to do my best. No, you're not doing your best. You're not doing your best. You're doing your worst. Why? Because you ought to learn, you're an adult, that the emotions of the feelings of a Ben Israel are coming down from the brain down to the heart. You use the midah of Esav of the Goyim, and you want to pretend to be a Jew and doing, so you want to use the midas of Esav in order to come to the Torah. You desecrate the Torah from the very beginning. You have no business being there. You actually, shouldn't even do it. The Gemara in Sanhedrin brings down, and this, it's going to be across the board. I'm just going to bring it on the Gemara because the Gemara says it, which means, obviously, Daria Kodesh in the Zohar. Okay, now that we define this power of Bilaam, because Bilaam had the power of this Ruach HaTuma of China. Who is this man? The Gemara says he is Be'er, but his name is Be'er really. Kushan Rishasayim. It's another king, the time in the Shoftim, and he is Lavan Ha'aram. This one everybody knows. How can he be Lavan Arami? The best Lavan Arami was his grandfather. Lavan Arami had a son Be'er. Be'er had a son Bilam. How can you say that he is Lavan Arami? then the Gemara keeps on. When even when they talk about Kusha Mishosayim, what's his real name? Lavan Aram. All these names are different names for the same person. I don't want to think how many years he had lived in order to be like this. But I'll tell you what Darya Kodesh says. Darya Kodesh says that he was the Gilgul of Lavan, but the complete Gilgul. He was Lavan himself. Sometimes a person gets a parcel, a little piece of a sparkle of someone which called a Gilgul too. Here was Lavan full. Rashi goes further than that. Rashi says they on the Gemara that Be'er had to read the Gemara is that Be'er, Bilaam ben Be'er was Lavan himself. In other words, Bilaam was the son of Lavan. Bilaam was the brother of Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, Zilpah. In other words, Bilaam knew Yaakov Avinu. He was part of the team that run after Yaakov Avinu when he escaped. He was with his father when they were fomenting to kill him. Him and his children, even though he was Lavan, was his grandchildren, he didn't have any rachmanus. What was the problem there? There was a fundamental problem. Lavan was the only man ever on earth to walk without fear in Harei HaChoshech, in the dark mountains, when the two Malachim are chained down in there and they teach magic to people, the magic of the bad forces. And depending on the level, so even Bilam needed some preparation to go in there. But Balak or Lavan was going there like he was home. So remember we learned in Pashas Vayetze that the Gilgulim of the Bnei Israel were in the flock of Lavan. So they told Lavan, Azar and Azar, they told Lavan that Yaakov will come and he's the one to destroy because he is the one that's going to raise the Shekhinah and that's going to raise and create Am Yisrael. And they told him how to destroy Yaakov Avinu. And the whole time the Zohar says when Lavan was going, he was saying all kind of magic formulas in order to take down Yaakov, but nothing would affect Yaakov. Nothing at all. That was driving me crazy. Now, not only he has succeeded in flourishing in his own house, so Lavan could not harm him, but he created the 12 shiftei kah, the Merkava of the Shekhinah on which the Shekhinah is going to sit and take her out from there, which is Rachel, take her out from imprisonment where Lavan put her. This was tremendous. How is he going to face Azar and Azar? What is he going to tell them? He had to go and kill him. He had to go and kill them. This is the essence of the hatred of Lavan and Bilam towards Yaakov and the Bnei Israel. And because Lavan endured such a level of bizayon with his people, he was always acting as I know, he can do it. He was as I say, people that were bothering Lavan, he would turn them into donkeys. He would turn them into rats. He was extremely, extremely powerful. So he never thought He never imagined that he could, he could fail, but he failed miserably. Let me show you something, because in the Haggadah, Bilaam is called we said Harami Oived Av. In the Pasuk, it's not written with it's written with here. Oived Av. He wanted to, really, when you think about it, he wanted to destroy the whole nation. Man, the Pshat in the Haggadah is that he wanted to kill, his grandchildren, girls, boys, everyone together. While Paro only wanted to kill the boys. That's the Pshat Pasha. The truth is, we're not in that world where we explain things like this. Arami Obe Davi equals 271. Equals Sag Ma Ban. This equals to 232, right? You know that. 232, there's 10 letters, 10 letters, 10 letters, 9 letters, with the 39 letters. It's very important what I'm saying right now here, because we're going to see that Lavan wanted to bring down the tomb on earth, the Chet Etzadas, the 39 clawless, which is 10 on man, 10 on Adam, 10 on Chava, 10 on the Nachash, and 9 on Adam. And I don't remember the gematria on top of my head right now, but we should come. We will come through it, and I'll reconnect it here. You're going to see the Lamites of the Kedusha versus the Lamites of the Tumah. So just want to point. So he didn't want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to interfere in this world. He wanted the Nachash only to control this world. In the next world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can remain there. Nobody will bother him. But in this world, we should be able to do whatever we want. Enjoy it. That's all he wanted. Enjoy himself. And therefore, if he would, the only one that could bring the Shekhinah to this world and anchor her here was Yaakov. So Yaakov was, the bull's eyes was on him for Laban. He had to finish him up. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't see it that way and created that meeting over there. The Rachaim HaKadosh, by the way, on Sunday it's in the outside. The Kusi Yagan Aleinu asks a tremendous question. If already the servant of Abraham Avinu, when he went just for a shidduch for Yitzchak, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made him Fitzas Haderech. Whatever, according to some Rishonim, it was 16 days a journey to go from Beersheba all the way to Mesopotamia, there where they found Rivka and so forth. He did it in an instant. Yaakov Avinu, who's trying to save the Shiftika, who has the Shekhinah Kedusha with him, who has the neshamis of the Bnei Israel with him. How come HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not do kfitzas aderech for him? Yeah, the Lavan calculated that where he was about, on his way to the back home, because, he was walking with the whole family. But why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu put him in one instant into Yitzchak's home? And now with Yitzchak around, Lavan would not dare approach. He would be decimated by the Kedusha of Yitzchak Avinu. Says the Arachaim HaKadosh, a tremendous yesod. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted that meeting, because from that meeting will come the light that's going to save the Bnei Israel later in the Mikvah. Why? Because they had to do the mount, the stones, the amount of stones, and swear of it. Because when Bilaam was on his way to Moav, the Torah says just like this, and his donkey, rubbed him against the wall. What do you mean, rubbed him against the wall? Which wall? Hakir, the wall. The wall, that wall. The God. But the Baruch Hu wanted to show Bilaam, now you're transgressing the shvur you made since you love on, you made to Yaakov Avinu. Now Yaakov is patur from killing you. Now Yaakov can go into your land also and decimate you guys. Why? Because you transgressed already the shvur. You know it by going out through this way. And that shows the hatred of Lavan Aram. That shows the urge they had for their physical envies, the lust they have in their mind, and they were ready to kill the very own in order to enable their lifestyle. They don't care who and what and how they're going to achieve it. All they care about is to achieve it. Just want to show you in the pasuk what we just said, how now we're going to start understanding the pasuk under a different light. This pasuk starts ve'ata. What do you mean ve'ata? Now. He sent malachim. They came to tell them that the Bnei Israel came out of Mitzrayim, and we're still gonna have to answer this. Well, what it means? They covered the eye of the earth, and now curse them. What do you mean? Just to keep on talking. What do you put me in adverb, middle of a thing, like you want to disconnect from that? We take this word. Equals 481. Equal Eretz Canaan. Besides looking after his own interests and after his own envies and passions, Bilaam, he doesn't talk. It's not an adverb. He tells Balak tells Bilaam, you better watch it, because they're going to go into Eretz Canaan. They're going to attack the lily, which resides there. Plus the cradle, which resides there. So we have to protect her. If you want, maybe we're going to have another chance after that going after the Jews, but now we have to protect her. So not only they want to destroy the Kedusha, but they want to protect the tumor. They want to protect the and he tells him in this whole pasuk, it's all chachma in this pasuk. Let me make some room here so we have one after. Go, please curse them. For me, what do you mean for me? And for Bilaam, you don't need it? Bilaam, you're even worse than Balak into your funny ideas and philosophy, you know, for what you do. So what he says, please, he says, there is only the way. Balak was a tremendous chacham, and he told him that when we want to destroy the Bnei Israel, there is one midah that we need to destroy. Look at this. This equals to 352. Erech Hapayim. What is Erech Hapayim, the midah of Erech Hapayim? Bnei Israel sin, Bnei Israel do something. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has patience. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will carry on the sin for a later time. Maybe they're going to have a credit because of a mitzvah and whatever, and it's going to wipe it out like this without even punishment. Erech Hapayim is a tremendous mitzvah. The guy will come with the Satan try to be mekatreg on the Bnei Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be Erech Hapayim. Why? Because he knows later they're going to do something. But if you remove this midah of Erech Hapayim, then the midah sadin is now. Did something now, you pay now. And that's the way he wanted to instigate Bilaam because Bilaam knew how to block through his magic formulas. He knew how to block the conduits, the tzinoros, and therefore he was able to go after that and make the Bnei Israel pay. Why? The Egel. What did they go in front? Baal Peor. They're going where Moshe Rabbeinu only will be able to tempt it. It's going to be buried across from Baal Peor. He came. They started the you know, with being across from the eagle. So they wanted to bring down a kitrug, the kitrug of Adam, the kitrug of the eagle, the kitrug of Baal Peor, and start with, and I'm going to prove all this to you. What the next words in the pasuk here? כי עצום הוא ממני. Here, oh yeah. What is Balak saying? You're the biggest witchcrafter. We've seen it from the Zohar before. So why are you scared? Why can't you do nothing? Number two, what's the danger for you? You know that they're not allowed to conquer your land. Unless you go out in Milchama, like it's going to happen at the end of time. We will conquer them. So ki atzom hu mimeni, you know that number, all of you, which equals to shulchan. You remember Pesoira is selling to Pesoira? And we said Pesoira, Vayishlach malachim el Bilaam and Balak Pesoira. And I told you this is in Aramaic, in Hebrew, the name is shulchan. You know what shulchan stands for. It's 4 times the Yehudim of, that's on the Kabbalah of the shulchan, right? We have Yud, Hey, Vav, K, Yud, K, Yes, I'll be shot now that we unveil this. They're surrounded by the Yud Kevavke of the Shechina and the Yud Kevavke of Kucheberia. Fine. On the fourth side, I can. Therefore, and it's brought down in the Zohar that the Shulchan protects. You know, when someone behaves on the Shulchan is so strong that it protects from Kishufim. Look at it where it says it. In the very parsha of the Kishufim. Now, what is he telling Bilam? He's telling Bilam, you have the koyach of Shulchan, because the koyach of Shulchan is Pesoira. Pesoira is whatever you say on the Shulchan is what's going to happen. If someone says Leitzanus on the Shulchan, we learn. If someone says Leitzanus on the Shulchan, then we know that the Satan, his Shulchan will be Maliki Vetsoya. It's going to be full of the Satan and the lily. We learned it from the Zer in Pasuk Vayakhel, on the Kavanas on the Shulchan. And on the other hand, if he says Divrei Torah and he gives tzedakah on his Shulchan, the Malachim take his Shulchan, bring it with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they say Zeh HaShulchan Asher Lifnei Hashem. You see that the life of a person is defined by his behavior on the Shulchan. In gross, that's what it is. Mainly, that's what it is. The same way China will create a vacuum for the Ruach HaTuma to go in there, the same way when someone talks Diburim Asurim on the Shulchan, he's assured that he stepped to the other side. Why would the Torah? I think I want to show you this prior to explaining it. This whole parsha is driven by two individuals, Balak and Bilaam. Okay? These are the two subjects of our parsha. This equals to 280. When we're going to learn the Manspach, which is 280, means they really wanted to come with all the demons. Look at this. Together, they had the power to bring Ruach HaTuma. Their strength was only through Ruach HaTuma. The whole fight we have here is a Kedusha, this whole Pasha, versus Ruach HaTuma. Now, there's a very, very striking thing in this Pasha. Every time we're going to say, look at it. Bilaam ben Be'er look at Be'er how it's written. But when the Pasha will say, Bilaam benoi Be'er, it will always write it without a vav. So here, when it's Bilaam ben Be'er, we always have a vav in the Be'er. And when it's Bilaam, we have Benoi Be'er. The Be'er never has a vav. Why? This is really interesting. The first reason here we can see is obviously completely showing that there is something very deep in here. What is the Torah want to tell us? Making us such a gematria because he wants that Bilam ben Be'er should be exactly equal to Bilam benoi Be'er. You see, it's exactly the same letters. The Vav went just to benoi. He went out from here and he went to here. So they're exactly equal to 472. What is the Torah willing to teach us with that? And we're going to start understanding what did we say before Bishem the Gemara? What did we say Bishem the Ari HaKadosh? Why did we say Bishem the Zohar HaKadosh? That Bilam was the Gilgul of Balak, of Lavan. Bilam was the Gilgul of Lavan. Okay, so take Ani Gilgul Lavan Ha'arami and tell me how much you found. Ani Gilgul, I am very tired. I just cannot do it. Ani Gilgul Lavan Ha'arami equals 472, exactly like Bilam ben Be'er, and to match the Rashi on the Gemara in Kuf Hamud Aleph, it's Bilam benoi Be'er is 470. I'm not going to have the strength to keep explaining the how Malik and the Koyach in here is. I apologize for this, but as Hashem, I'll get back to myself and I'll be able to give you a little bit more. The only thing that we can take from here is we don't realize the Kedusha is a gem. The Kedusha is a present. The Kedusha is Hashem entrusted in us one of the most cherished wealth that are up in Shamayim in the world, and told us to keep it well. Why? Because we have on the other side, we have Imach Shemam, the Ruach HaTuma, the Balak and the Bilam of every generation that are trying to take us down. And our mission is to protect the Kedusha, to protect the Das. Because once a person, oh yeah, but then they're going to jump us on the back and everything, don't worry. As long as you safeguard the Kedusha and the Das of Ben Israel, you are safe. Nothing can against it. That's the message we have. Do not negotiate a price thinking you're saving, you're making a good deal. And when on the other hand, you made the worst possible deal because so far you didn't have the Ruach Ra into your house. But now, by doing things, oh, I didn't know. Not knowing is not an excuse. Not knowing is not possible. But the Ruach Ra is there. So now a lot of tragedies are going to happen and people are going to say, oh, he's sick, he needs that medicine, he needs that this. He doesn't need any of this. He just has a Ruach Ra that you need to take care of it. And then because then they go to the doctor gives doesn't help. And these people don't realize because it's not a weakness or a problem in the body. It's a problem of who entered the body of that person. It's the Ruach Ra. We have to have tremendous immune. we have to have tremendous bitachon. To the level of tamim tiyeh mashem elokecha, that you see that everything that happens in the world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is behind. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is behind it with his huge will to only do good to people. Yes, he comes across as something very bitter. But if HaKadosh Baruch Hu removes something much worse than this, then the gap, the gain we had on this should make us beds of joy. We don't do that all the time. But this is the true emunah, to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that nothing can against us, nothing, as long as we keep our two midas, kedusha and das. And we add that we trust that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does. When a person sees HaKadosh Baruch Hu in every action, even on the actions of his enemies, Balak and Bilaam, they have no strength. Who they wanted to go after? They missed Yaakov Avinu. Nake boy, I said, I can give you the gematria now because I'm really weak, but it's Moshe Rabbeinu. They knew that the one pillar on which the Bnei Yisrael stand all, it's Moshe Rabbeinu. Who did they want to go after? Moshe Rabbeinu. Because if you take down that pillar, Am Yisrael, you don't need an army to conquer it. You whistle, they come. Like what he did with the Bnei Midian and so forth. That's a weakness of the Bnei Yisrael. The power of the Bnei Yisrael is when we decide we committed to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're a soldier of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we keep on the Kedusha and the Das, and we stop that stupidity of good deals of this world, the Chinam, so we don't open a door or a window for the Ruach Ra to come, then we say, Baruch Adonai Elohim, Amen, Amen.